the story of 1915 Peace is the story of a young woman who is playing by the beach and discovers a very troubled, difficult past, a past of bloodshed and genocide, something that has affected her and her people from 100 years ago. And it's about her journey of discovery and also her journey of the soul and coming to a place of peace and remembrance and also moving on for a brighter and more hopeful future.
April 24th it's a big day for Armenia. You know, I remember the whole city was closed down and the entire city, and they're walking towards to this monument, the monument for the Armenian genocide in 1915. And I remember I was so tired and I couldn't hang on into my legs. It was just devastating because it's a very high hill. You just have to walk, and everybody walks, nobody can drive. With the flowers, and I was walking with my parents and I had to sit down and just getting tired. But I remember because it just, you know, you do that and it's just so meaningful. Even though you're a kid, you don't understand everything, but you know, it just gets into your head and into your soul. I wanted to do this for my country, being an Armenian, you know. I wanted to choreograph in beautiful music, some beautiful dance piece. And then I met Diana and Chuck, who are the executive producers. I talked to them about my idea. They brought me here to Mount Davison. Whenever I saw this location, this beautiful place, somehow just right away came this idea that we could do it outdoor. You know, we could do in these beautiful locations with the dancers. I work with Abe with another project, Dancing with Nureyev, and it was great. I had a great time working on that project, and then I called him and I talked to him about it, and he's like, wow, that sounds great, and I'm, you know, honored just you called me and asking me to film this.
And so he pitched the idea to me. I told him it sounded great, I'd love to be a part of it. I felt honored that he would approach me. And we started working together on it, and I took what was in his head and helped him to craft it for film. So I put together all storyboards and helped to work with Davit in order to really think about what's the best way to translate his vision and his choreography into film. Davit had very specific imagery that he wanted to express of this young woman playing in the water and picking up the water and the water turning into blood. I actually, coming into the project, didn't know very much about the history of the Armenian genocide, for which this project is a commemoration. And so I did my research, and one thing that I found out is that a lot of Armenian people were marched on something called death marches, which is basically they were walked and walked and walked across the country until they perished. And then once they passed away, they were thrown into the river. It's a very horrible story, but that imagery of water turning to blood really, when I read about that, made a lot of sense to me. We have a scene in which there's a vigil in commemoration of the genocide, and I knew I wanted this to happen at nighttime. I was very clear about how I wanted to stage it, and so that was one scene that I was able to plan ahead of time without seeing the choreography. And so we showed up. It was quite cold. The dancers were troopers. They huddled together and they kept warm with our little heaters, and they stuck it out.
The collaboration, I think it was very, very good, because it wasn't that like, no, we're not gonna do this, we're gonna do that, or something like that, you know. It was just understanding each other so well. I would say something, he would understand, and he would have a vision, and then he would tell me something, and I would have some kind of different vision, and we just put it together and it came something really great.
As an Armenian descendant, it's a great honor for me to participate in this project and to remind all of the world about 100 years of Armenian genocide, and I will try to put all my heart and soul into my dance to show that we can change our world to become a better place. You have to feel it in your soul to show the emotions. Even the water was so cold, but I wasn't feeling it because I was so into it.
Because I'm using such an international group also, you know, I have the Russian, Chinese, Brazilian, Spanish, American, you know, Armenian. It's such an amazing group, and I wanted each one to bring a little bit of their cultural kind of movement into the piece. So, you know, when I talk to them, communicate, and I say what we can do over here and here, you know, they come up really nicely with the movement. That brings me an idea of what I can do and how I can finish it to be nice for them and for the camera and for everything.
Thinking through the music and try think about a lot of memories when I was young with my grandfather and keeping through China's revolutions. I want to dance for him. I want to think something important for me. I want to dancing like imagine he's there watching.
You know, the dancers are used to dancing in indoors places and on the sprung floors and in warm conditions. I knew it was going to be much difficult on a sand doing some dance moves. So I already warned the dancers, and then we don't have to be as precise.
Yesterday in the beach was fun. In the beginning when we got there it was really cold, but when we got to the beach and actually we started dancing, we were lucky that we had sun. So actually we were lucky that in the moment we were dancing, it was nice and warm. But it was one part that we have to actually lay down in the beach without t-shirt, and that was what it was like really painful actually to do because it was cold. The sun was really cold. But yeah, that was fun, you know, we were lucky that it was a nice day.
I'm so thankful to my fellow dancers, you know, just giving their time to do this, because this is really important for me, and it will be amazing for the whole world just to know about what we're doing.
It's like a family because we work like 12 hours, 10 hours together every day. We are just really support each other, and I love both of them.
We just want to tell our audience that we would like peace to the whole world, and we don't want any of this violence to happen to any country.